We have Coach Don Calvert with us. And, Don, welcome to the program. You've got your SCORE basketball camps going on. And the way you were talking to Coach Jones, this is a 24/7 thing for you.
Oh, yeah. We work with about 200 kids during the week.
Uh-huh.
Monday through Saturday, go to church on Sunday. And then kids come in. Some of them come in 4 or 5 times a week. We have kids that come from 2 and 3 hours away. I've got kids that come from Missouri to train with me. I've got a kid coming from Germany next month that's going to come and train with me. So they come from everywhere.
All right. Now, you played at OU. Your dad was at OSU. You've got a lot of Henry Iba in you, basketball knowledge. I can see Henry Iba, X's and O's, neon sign across your forehead. How awesome must that be?
It is. Most kids like me don't get that opportunity. I'm very blessed. The coaches that I got to play for and then the coaches I got to hang around because my dad played at OSU. For instance, who gets to talk to Denny Price about shooting basketball? I spent a lot of time with Denny on how do you shoot the ball, what's your mechanics, what do you do with all that stuff, and then getting to talk with it. There was a coach there back then, Pat, named Carlisle, that do you remember him?
I know who it is, yeah.
He spent a lot of time with me teaching me how to shoot the basketball. And then Mr. Iba spent hours with me on how do you break down zones, how do you run practices, how do you develop your footwork. For instance, I remember I was in the 9th grade, and he's the first one that taught me about sprint steps. And when you're developing footwork, you train yourself to do 5 different types of footwork: slides, jumps, recovery steps, sprint steps, and jabs. And he told me, he said, if you'll start doing this drill and you get to where you can do sprint steps from side to side of the lane, you can cover anybody in the country. So he got me doing that, and that's how I got really quick. Being a guy that wasn't that athletic, I got to where I could cover anybody because of just basic drills like
this is all that stuff he'd do without a basketball being present, right?
Well, that's
some of it sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Well, do you ever ask your guys to put on shoulder pads like Eddie Sutton? And
I'm not sure we could get away with that. We could try it. But.
Now talk about Don. Talk about how this place came about and kind of the history of what you got going now.
Oh wow. My goal was to coach in college. I played at OU, and a lot of my teammates, like one of my former teammates is a head coach for the Portland Trail Blazers, and that's the kind of thing that I wanted to do.
Yeah, sure.
But, being a Christian, the Lord had a different plan for me. I had a son that was terminally ill, and so that kind of changed my attitude about what I was going to do and what I was going to do with my life. I couldn't be on the road. And I came to Tulsa because I first started coaching at ORU, and that was kind of where I felt like I was headed and all. But that completely changed. And I was just coaching at a small school. My son and I would go to a research program in St. Louis. And all of a sudden on the side, Champions came about, if you remember the old sports complex. And a guy named Dr. Ranne asked me to go train out there. And I didn't do it the first year, but I started doing stuff at this little school, and my schedule filled up in 1 week. And then I go out to Champions the next year, and my schedule filled up. And I found out that I, was pretty good at it. People responded to what I was doing, and my schedule filled up so much so that I was able to go into it full time after that.
All right, so Don, we have a lot of obviously fathers listening to this radio program. How can they get their son involved in your program? It's
really easy. We make it so easy for you. You can come out and try out a class, and we love starting with young kids. We work with everything from 5-year-olds up through NBA players. And
now, where exactly is your facility?
128th and Memorial.
Okay.
There's a warehouse there. When people walk into our gym, they're amazed at how nice it is. It's a first-class facility. We have outstanding coaches, Marcus and Monte, that work with me that do a tremendous job. We wouldn't be packed out if we want kids to learn to work hard, but we also want them to be motivated. We want them to develop character. We want them to love what they do, to fall in love with it, become passionate about it, to develop workout routines, to develop the work ethic it takes to be successful, all those kinds of things.
We were talking off the air. You got all the video stuff. I mean, you're into all that and things that they teaching methods and cut up tapes and all that kind of stuff, huh?
Yeah, and Pat, I'll even one of the things I like doing is I'll watch video with kids.
Yeah, right.
And show them how they're moving without the ball, the gaps they're missing, the defensively what they can do. Just teach them all the possibilities about, you should have run through that pass. You should have run through that dribble. You should have penetrated here. See how passive you're being here. See how you're standing around too much. Or just, teach them to read things and react, which is, I know in football, that's everything.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be able to read and react. And so we'll watch video
So
with kids.
you start out with go individual, group, team. Now, will you get into, at some point in this, you get into actually up and down games type stuff? Or
not a whole lot.
Yeah, right.
We'll do a lot of one-on-one stuff,
Yeah,
two-on-two
yeah,
stuff,
right.
teaching kids to use what we're teaching them. But like, I've got young kids. Like, I work with a kid named Parker that's only 9 years old. The kid's already scored 47 points in a game. I'm training him the same things that I was training my NBA players 2 weeks ago. I'm working with a guard from Boston Celtics, and I'm teaching him exactly the same thing that I'm teaching these 9-year-old kids, which is, now think, that kid Parker, he's going to be able to go practice these things for the next 10 years, and he's, the sky's the limit for him because of starting as a young kid.
We're talking to Don Calvert, Score Basketball, and the website. I take it you have a website so folks can
ScoreBball.com.
I'm sorry?
ScoreBball.com.
Okay, well, that's simple enough.
Done, yeah.
There you go.
Let me ask you a dumb question here, Don. Now, with the 5-year-olds and little kids, you got small goals, you got lower goals for them, all that kind of stuff. Now, do you get into the, as far as weight training, any of that kind of stuff, and the stretching and the whole regime and all?
Oh, yeah. We were trained by a guy named Wes that was a tremendous trainer. He trained a lot of the Dallas Cowboys and people like that. So we have a training program that's as high level as you want to get, and we do that a lot. What we like doing, Pat, is rather than making kids dependent upon us to train, we like teaching them what to do on their own. And that's what our program's all about is, okay, take what we're teaching you and then set up your workout schedule, and here's what you should be doing every day.
College basketball, obviously, there are several teams around here. You talk about Lee Mayberry and Kelena Azukuke as part of your regime. How has the Thunder increased not only the enthusiasm for basketball around here, but the training routine?
I'm glad you said that, because that's huge. One of the things that my dad did with me, Pat, was he took me to OSU games.
Right.
And he took me to NBA games. And he took me to Final Four games. Well, he didn't need to motivate me. That motivated me. And now you take a kid to a Thunder game, or they watch a Thunder game, they get excited. And they wear the equipment. They get excited about the game of basketball. And so it helps us tremendously.
I think the same thing with the ladies taking them down here to the shot game, right?
Right.
Like we had kids, last night we had 20 kids in our group class that Marcus and I were doing, and we had 2 or 3 girls with sock T-shirts on. And so, same thing. And I'm really glad that they're, improving and getting better this last year. That should give them some momentum for next year.
All right. Again, Don, tell the folks how they can get involved in Score Basketball.
It's real easy. You can give me a call at 918-955-7160.
And I like to say, that number again?
918-955-7160. And or they can go to our website, ScoreBball.com.
Well, Don, it's now the last time I saw you, was that a shot game? As a matter of fact, you guys were sitting on the baseline, and you were instructing or giving instruction to Glory Johnson at the time.
Yeah, we were working on her footwork, getting her where she can work a girl up and back, and working on her shooting mechanics and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, tell your dad we said hello.
Okay,
yes,
sounds
please
good.
do. Yep, it's great. All right, Don, thank you very much for being with us. Appreciate it. Don't forget, Score Basketball. I'm going to ask you the phone number again.
918-955-7160.
Beautiful. Thank you, Don.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Don.
it very much.
Thanks for the time.
All right, and we'll take some more phone calls when we come back. 460-KYAL, 460-5925. This is your home for sports, the Sports Animal.